Chairman of the local organizing committee, Pastor Babajide Omoniwa, said students and young people were intentionally included because they represent the future of the church and society. The three-day conference organized by Lapis Lazuli Ministries at the Los Angeles Event Center, Mabushi, has drawn participants from across Nigeria. They include church leaders, rural missionaries, members of Christian campus fellowships, and guest ministers from the United States, Australia, and Europe. Now, fresh violence along the Plateau-Kaduna border has heightened fears of a cycle of attacks and reprisals following the killing of 9 members of the Irigwe community in Kaduna State and the death of a Fulani herder in neighboring Plateau State. Now, this girl, according to community sources, armed assailants attacked Ungwan Magaji village in Kamaru Ward and Koru local government area of Kaduna State on June 16, killing 9 Irigwe residents. The victims were buried in a mass funeral on Saturday as community leaders called on security agencies to bring the perpetrators to justice and strengthen security in vulnerable border communities. In a separate incident, a Fulani herder identified as Anwar Yakubu was killed on Friday in Basa local government area of Plateau State. Military sources say troops of Operation Enduring Peace responded to a distress call and recovered the victim's body, which reportedly bore gunshot and machete wounds. The attack had been linked by intelligence sources to suspected Irigwe militia members, although this has not been independently verified. Security personnel have launched efforts to identify and arrest those responsible for the killing amid concerns that the latest incident could further inflame tensions between communities already affected by recurring violence. The 2 incidents reflect the fragile security situation along the Plateau-Kaduna border, with residents and community leaders urging authorities to intensify security operations, prevent retaliatory attacks, and promote dialogue to avert further loss of lives. Now, let's turn attention to the NSCDC, where the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Akwa Ibom State Command has arrested 3 suspects and impounded a tanker loaded with 45,000 liters of ethanol suspected to have been illegally acquired. The state commandant, Mrs. Geraldine Abentambe, disclosed this while briefing journalists in Uyo. The arrest and seizure were carried out on Tuesday at about 1 p.m. by operatives of the command acting on credible intelligence at Ikotumo Essien along Aba Road in Essien Udim local government area. Mrs. Abentambe said the tanker, with a capacity of 45,000 liters, was laden with a product suspected to be ethanol acquired illegally. The commandant explained that the arrest of the suspect and seizure of the tanker were based on reasonable suspicion of the illegal acquisition and transportation of petroleum product in the state. She warned criminals against engaging in the legal trade of petroleum product, describing such activities as not only criminal but also forms of economic sabotage that deprives the government of revenue, endangers lives through adulteration and explosion, and undermines national security. She vowed that the NSCDC, as the lead agency responsible for the protection of critical national assets and infrastructure, would not relent in carrying out its mandate. Away from that now, the federal government will evacuate 271 Nigerians stranded in South Africa, according to an update by the spokesperson, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Kemibe Imomotemi Ebiemfa. Air Peace aircraft will depart Nigeria today, Monday, 29 June 2026 at 3 p.m. for the evacuation. Ebiemfa said the plane will depart South Africa at midnight to arrive on Tuesday morning. The anti-immigration vigilante group have set a June 30, 2026 deadline, demanding undocumented foreign nationals, especially blacks, to leave South Africa. The threat has sparked widespread fear of xenophobic unrest, leading several African nations to evacuate thousands of their citizens. Though South Africa authorities have heavily condemned the vigilante threats and deployed the police and military to tighten security nationwide. Meanwhile, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has urged citizens planning to participate in anti-immigration protests on June 30 to do so peacefully and within the law, warning that violence, intimidation and vigilantism have no place in the country's constitutional democracy. In a message to the nation on Monday titled "Protest is both a right and a responsibility," Ramaphosa acknowledged growing public concerns over undocumented immigration and its impact on communities. He said tomorrow, June 30, marks the date that several groupings have identified for protests against undocumented immigration in South Africa. The president said the right to protest is protected under South Africa's constitution, but stressed that constitutional freedoms do not permit threats, intimidation, vandalism, or violence. South Africans have raised deep concerns about illegal migration and immigration, border management, pressure on public services, criminal syndicates that exploit their immigration system, and the impact these challenges have on communities. The Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, has launched a financing intervention scheme known as the Grow Fund, aimed to making business financing accessible to micro, small and medium enterprises operators across the country. Director General and Chief Executive Officer of SMEDAN, Dr. Charles Odili, disclosed this in Abuja during the activities to commemorate the 2026 Global MSME Day, while highlighting the robust economic policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led administration for economic sustainability. Let's hear more from business correspondent Ile Emeje.
Briefing newsmen in Abuja after a rolled walk and sensitization exercise at Utako Ultramodern Market to mark the 2026 Global MSME Day, Director General of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDAN, Mr. Charles Odi, assured of the agency's readiness to disbursing about 500 million naira zero-interest grant to supporting small-scale businesses across the country through associations and cooperatives.
For the launch today, the sum of 500 million naira for these cooperatives, business member organizations, trade union. And what we want to do is make sure that we can work with other organizations to help us to match. We're just going to go about it case by case, look at the strength of their members and see the kind of professionals that are in there.
While highlighting efforts of the federal government towards national growth and development of the nation, the SMEDAN boss stressed that the challenges of access to financing by small businesses will soon become a thing of the past with the initiative.
Today is the World MSME Day. SMEs, as we all know, are the bedrock of our society. SMEs contribute to 50% of Nigeria's GDP. We want to make sure that we give funds and we put funds in the hands of cooperatives, business member organizations, associations, trade unions, so they can have this money to work as a group. We might not be able to meet all the tens of thousands of cooperatives in Nigeria, but I think that if we target a reasonable number in each of the states, it will go a long way to helping small businesses thrive and grow in Nigeria. So it is a zero-interest loan, but it is a revolving loan. What they will be paying back is exactly the same amount that they take.
The entrepreneurs expressed gratitude to the federal government for the support through SMEDAN.
Has brought me this far because last year I came serving in Abuja without having a CAC registration yet, and I had through SMEDAN you can start your business legally first before you can go on to push on for your CAC registration. So I started my business using SMEDAN, and I'm here today all thanks to SMEDAN pushing me and advising me that yes, you can do more, not just from your little comfort but out of the world too.
The SMEDAN boss further urged all small business owners across the country to take advantage of this initiative in order to contribute meaningfully to the nation's gross domestic products, GDP, and their well-being. Ile Emeje, ASO Television News.
The federal government has reaffirmed commitment to its renewed hope agenda for a sustainable growth and development of the nation, while recognizing outstanding micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, the MSMEs across the nation. Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima in Abuja during an award ceremony to mark the World's MSMEs Day assured of adequate support to funding small businesses while noting government effort. Business correspondent Ile Emeje covered the event and files in the story.
While congratulating the awardees at the 2026 National MSMEs Award in Abuja, Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, who was represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Office of the Vice President, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadeja, disclosed government's drive to partnering with relevant stakeholders in order to institutionalize Digital Hub and ensuring proper disbursement to MSMEs.
We have partnered with state governments to bring these clinics across 6 geopolitical zones, enabling small business owners to engage directly with regulatory agencies, financial institutions, and business support organizations, and to receive on-the-spot solutions to their challenges. We have institutionalized 21 state-of-the-art shared infrastructure facilities, providing affordable access to high-speed internet, modern machinery, and collaborative spaces from digital hubs for our tech innovators.
The Vice President acknowledged government's contribution to the national MSMEs.
Designed to address high interest rates and improve access to affordable credit, the scheme carries a funding envelope of up to 74 billion naira and covers all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, offering loans from 500,000 to 3 million naira across diverse sectors. It has so far been launched in Lagos, Akwa Ibom, Delta, Cross River, and Plateau states.
Speaking in an interview at the sideline of the event, Director General, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, Mr. Charles Odi, reiterates economic sustainability through MSMEs, even as the 2026 MSME Award winner commended the initiative of the federal government.
From the government perspective, we are actually now helping with reforms that will make running businesses very, very, very smooth. What you're seeing today is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that is in store for our small businesses. Upon assumption of office, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu marked the sum of 50 billion naira grants to nano businesses. We are going to continue to support our small businesses, not just with funding and not just with training like it was done in time past, but now with equipment and industrial centers where they can come, turn raw materials into finished products and distribute those products across the 36 states and the FCT.
The federal government further urged all the MSMEs to use the platform for long-term value.
I'm extremely happy for emerging the overall winner for MSME of the year today. This is my 6th time of applying, and this is the first time I'm reaching the finalists. I want to thank the committee for making this event free and fair.
Ile Emeje, ASO Television News.
But that's the bulletin. But before we go a look at one of our major stories again, we told you that federal government has reaffirmed renewed hope agenda by honoring outstanding MSMEs across the nation. I am Joy Annie. Thank you for watching.